Today I am talking about BU 224 Unit 2 homework for microeconomics. The assignment was about the remote island St. Atangio, we'll call it. The inhabitants grow corn and breed poultry. The accompanying table shows the maximum annual output combinations of poultry and corn that can be produced. Obviously, given their limited resources and available technology, as they use more of their resources for corn production, there's going to be fewer resources available for breeding poultry. Okay, so here's our chart. We've got 1 through 7, those are our points. Here is our pounds of corn and our pounds of poultry. The first part is we're going to draw the production possibility frontier, with corn on the y-axis and poultry on the x-axis. So what we're going to do, I use Apache. I'm going to put the link in the bottom, on the bottom, but you can also use Microsoft Excel, that's fine. But what we're going to do is we're going to pull up our Excel, our Apache, and we're going to start with A1, and we're going to put in our x-axis. A is going to be our x-axis, and B is going to be our y-axis. And what we will do is we will just go ahead and copy it exactly as it appears. Now, just make sure though that they are in the right areas of A and B. Now, once we get that done, we are going to come down here with our mouse and we're going to click on B8 and drag it all the way up. We're going to highlight all of that, and it is the same on Microsoft Word. So this basically is a knockoff of Microsoft Word, but it's really awesome. You can save it in ODT file, which is Apache, or you can save it in EXL. So it's really awesome. But here we go. You're going to go down to Insert, Chart. Now, whenever we do this, we are going to make sure that it is an XY scatter chart. And we are going to make sure that it is point and line. And we do want to make it smooth lines as well. So once we make it to smooth lines, we're just going to finish. And our y-axis is going to be on this side over here. It is going to be corn. So, now getting into the actual principle of what it is, if I give you 500 pieces of scrap and I tell you that I want you to make each thing that I tell you to make takes one piece of scrap, and I tell you to make me 700 things, you can't do it. And that's basically the same principle here. The only thing is, you can't make, if you've got 1,200 resources, you can't make 1,400. And that's basically what it is. They are going to be shared equally. So, if we're going down to number 2, that's our graph by the way, number 2, it's asking if you can produce 650 pounds of poultry and 650 pounds of corn. We're looking at our graph. So 650 would be roughly around there, because right there would be like 700, so that would be roughly about 650. And we'll see that no, we cannot. It's actually going to fall short of 650. It's actually going to be roughly about 575. This is our poultry. This is our corn. The point relative is going to fall short of ppf. which is our production possibility frontier. Number 3 is, what is the opportunity cost of increasing the annual output of corn from 800 to 1,000? This is an extremely complicated, I could make it extremely complicated, but I'm just going to state it as simple as I can. The opportunity cost is basically how much you lose, or how much you gain when you lose something, or how much you lose when you gain something, or how much you gain when you lose something. For instance, if we were to take 800 and change it to 1,000, which I went ahead, if it helps, make a chart. I changed 800 right here, was changed to 1,000. And we see changing 1,000 will actually set you at about a 500 difference there. That's all it is. It's just simple subtraction. A really complicated explanation in the book, but it's really not that complicated. Same thing with the cost of increasing the annual output of corn from 200 to 400. Down here, 400 minus 775, because we did change that from 200 to 400, and we'd end up with 375. Number 5, can you explain why the answers to 3 and 4 above are not the same? The difference to the coordinating numbers of the corn and the poultry account for the numbers of 3 and 4. If we cannot, it's going to have to even out. It's going to have to even to 12 to the 1,200. It's either way. But it's going to have to correspond. And it is going to have to be the concave line, which goes up to the next part of, it implies the slope of the production possibility frontier is always going to add up to that 1,200. The pounds of poultry will correspond to corn production. It's not going to go beyond 12,000, and the actual slope is going to be what in mathematics they refer to as concave. And I hope that helped you. Just a really quick overview. If you have any questions, I will put my email address on the bottom, and feel free to email me with any questions. And good luck.